At this point, you've probably seen most of the reviews from the big YouTubers like SkillUp, ACG, or heck, even IGN, who gave a score of 4 out of 10. Who even knew IGN could give a score that low?
Very little else to recommend about this unpolished mess of a hack-and-slash RPG.
Vast majority of the influencer reviews have been very negative with very little positives. You're really hoping someone like myself with over 20 hours of game time has something positive to say, or at the least, different. If you had any optimism, dreams, or excitement left towards Dark Alliance, I would definitely tone that down a bit, because this game is not great, it needs a lot of polish, but it has potential and most certainly has a good co-op vibe. I can't say that I'm upset that I spent over 20 hours playing this game, or the fact that I played through the 2 entire dungeons on the highest difficulty possible despite its many flaws. You might even be confused as to why I even played it as much as I did if it was indeed so bad. At the end of the day, the perfect way to quote my experience is misery loves company. Issues or not, my friends and I did have a good time playing through the game. Perhaps our tolerance for mediocrity has lowered, or we really just wanted the new co-op hack-and-slash game. Regardless, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and Dark Alliance does have its fun moments. Ulting! Ah!
Okay, drinking a potion.
Drink it, get in there.
Potion drank.
Drop it in my anvil. Now, I got my copy of the game over a week and a half ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago, which also came with 3 extra keys to give to my friends, allowing us to indulge in the full co-op experience. This review is really a combination of 4 opinions, not just mine. If there's one thing we all completely agreed on, it would have to be the cutscenes.
I'm hungry! Cowboy! More plane! Right here! Where are you going with that? Put that over there! Move your sucker! Move your own sucker, bofa shuck! Hey! Get that out! I said there! Not here! There!
They were enjoyable, impactful, and interesting. Quite frankly, I'd have no problem watching them all again without skipping, which isn't something I'd normally do. Even though the cutscenes bring life to the game's story, there still is not enough of it. If you want to know anything more about the story, you'd have to read the collectibles you find throughout the mission. And for me, that is completely boring, and I'd never do that. The combat tries to be cool and deep, but still feels clunky and basic. With around 15 movesets to play around with, you often find yourself using the same 3 to 4 moves since the others aren't as impactful, damaging, or necessary. It felt like playing any other mediocre co-op game except for the fact you could play as Drizzt or any of the other popular D&D characters. If it wasn't for the name Dungeons & Dragons in the title, this game wouldn't even be on people's radar. The one thing we couldn't comprehend was how stupid the AI could be. They would literally stand around and do nothing 50% of the time, while in their face. I mean, look at this.
My axe has a thirst! Keep your stinky beard over there!
Other times, they wouldn't even aggro you if you were to attack them, or if you were far enough away or on top of a ledge. It was inconsistent on when they wanted to attack, or do anything for that matter. Bosses would randomly die at half HP, enemies can be completely manipulated, pinned into walls, and constantly staggered. While some of this may be by design and rewards you with executing good combos, it still just didn't feel right. This game wants you to explore, and it rewards you decently, but you must do so with the party leader, otherwise you'll be teleported back to their position if you ventured off too far. It's not a bug, but a feature, and most likely to do with performance. When playing with a full party, it can be annoying because not one person can wander off and start collecting loot. But I could see this being a good thing for online quick play so that your random teammates can't ditch you and leave you to die. At this current moment, we have beaten every single mission and have only 1 dungeon left to beat. We're pretty much at endgame, roughly 15 to 20 hours in, and are having no trouble playing on the highest difficulty despite being drastically beneath the recommended combat power. That typically means the game is too easy and or unbalanced. We will say that this game was by no means designed for solo play, and we highly advise playing this game with friends if possible. The amount of enemies never seem to change, the damage and HP is either ramped too high or too little as well. The dramatic change from CR1 to CR2 difficulty seems silly and a bit off, but is quickly forgotten once you get even the slightest amount of gear. What we really do enjoy about Dark Alliance is that the maps look really good and cool. Honestly, the overall aesthetic is great. We wish the gameplay matched it though, but it just doesn't. This is your typical hack and slash, smash through buttons as fast as you can and eventually you'll kill your enemies. The game wants you to pull off cool combos and moves, but eventually you fight enemies who just ignore it and perform unstoppable moves over and over again. Even some of the harder enemies on the highest difficulty don't require much teamwork or coordination, nor do they change in skill level between difficulties. They purely stay the same, if anything become more spongy and have way more HP. But enough about that, let's talk about gear, because personally, I've gotten a few legendary items in the past few days, some better than others and others worse than my epics, but it just feels good to get that legendary gear. The gear in the game, however, is simply reskins. They don't add any new abilities, moves, or combos, which is kind of disappointing. However, we do like the different rarities and different stats that the gear gives you, which does give you a drive to grind, giving you a better min-max for your character. If there's one thing that was extremely overlooked, we'd have to say there are the amount of status effects. There are so many, and nowhere does the game tell you what they do. Of course, some of them are obvious thanks to playing other games, but half the time my screen is vomited with numbers, bloom, and status effects.
Man, look at all those debuffs.
I mean, look at all this AoE that we just did.
Well, I got a team attack.
Too, but apparently.
Overall, we personally don't think Dark Alliance is that great of a game. However, we all have over 20 hours of game time and are enjoying it despite the issues. The best part is we still want to finish playing as we have one more dungeon to complete. Whether it's purely because our tolerance for bad games has dropped drastically low due to the lack of quality games over the past few years, or the fact that we can play this mindlessly together ignoring all the bugs and lag. Dark Alliance feels like an early access game that still need to be baked in the oven for another 6 months. Who knows, with the amount of bad reviews and press this game is receiving, perhaps future updates will actually make a difference and that upcoming content might actually be worth revisiting the game. In its current state, we cannot recommend the game at full price despite the $40 price tag. However, if you're able to get the game for Xbox Game Pass or on sale, then we would say totally go for it, but make sure you have your friends ready to play with you and to have a good laugh at everything that is wrong with the game. It's possible that the game gets better over time, at which point you should simply wait and revisit once the new updates and patches have been released. My name is Vanatix, and if this review has helped you, make sure to like the video and leave a comment if you agree or disagree. I have planned guide videos and CR6 max difficulty playthrough dungeons that will be released on my channel soon, so make sure to stay tuned for those, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace. CR6, by the way.
Yep, CR6.
CR6, by the way. Just want to point that out.
Alright, guys, this is it. You haven't even done it.
Oh!
CR6, guys.
Whoa! Are you guys seeing these ice things popping up?
Nope.
Yeah, but we're inside and nothing's happening.
He keeps
Well,
getting staggered on his knees and stuff.
I think he's trying to hit me with these
Oh, ice things.
stupid ice things.
I need someone to give me.
Not dying
Joel.
as fast as he was.
Someone needs to give me a bunch of ult, please. I want to ult one more time.
We almost have
Combo meter.
combo, yeah. Let's make him 500, boys.
I'm trying, I'm just sitting here
Nothing's even
spamming.
happening other than this guy is just standing here taking beating.
Nope. 487, 490.
501! Ascendant.
He didn't even do anything. He just stood there and tanked it.